Hi friends, it's Sarah from Ruffles and Rainboots, and today we're making these natural wood triangle gnomes. They are Scandinavian goodness. Add a little hygge to your home. These are so sweet and cute. Boop, if you'd like to make them, stick around. As always, please give this video a like so I know you're here crafting with me. Now I'm using wood triangles I cut 1 by 5 by 9 inches high and 1 by 5 by 5. But Etsy has pre-cut triangles if you do not want to make them yourself. I'll put the link below. You can also use these planks from Amazon. So I'm going to use a little sandpaper, fur, wooden beads for the nose, felt, and embroidery thread to accent mine, but you can use anything. Now if you're new here,
with a friendly gnome reminder to subscribe. How? Just click that red subscribe button below and then the bell for turning on all notifications. Now let's get back to Sarah and the crafts.
Okay, so to get started, we're just going to sand our cuts. This is step by step what I did, and then I just wiped them down with a wet cloth. You can paint or stain them now, but I wanted this natural wood color. So for faux fur, I'm using a long pile Mongolian fur. This is something that has this beautiful drape, and if you want to cover the whole thing in this amazing fur, you can. I'm not going to subject you to that brushing. Now, if you're new here and you want to learn how to cut faux fur, I have a video on that for you, but basically you're just cutting this fur backing after you size it to where you want. So you're just going to use a razor and save those scraps because we're going to use those for a mustache. So here I just made a triangle-ish shape using a scrap piece of fur, and I just made it so that the bottom hits right at the edge of my 9-inch triangle. So using those scraps that we cut off, I'm just creating small rectangles. Now these are going to be the two pieces to my mustache. So you can see here, we're just going to part the fur one way. Now you can always, I'll show you this how it looks in just a second, but you can always use a pomade or anything on your faux fur. I find that you don't really need it if you can style the piece, or if you can cut the piece correctly. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to add hot glue to the backing only of our beard here, and we're just going to tack it on right to where it lines up. The top edge is going to be covered, so you don't have to worry if your cut isn't perfect, but I'm going to add these two pieces, and you can see here, because we're just adding tiny little rectangles, look at it, it looks just like a mustache. Isn't that cool? Okay, I'll keep my cute little commentary to a minimum. Now we're just going to repeat the same process for our 5-inch triangle, or yeah, 5-inch gnome. Wow. Okay, so we're just going to add a little hot glue, and for this guy I'm not going to use a mustache, so on that top edge I just folded it down, used a popsicle stick so I didn't mostly burn myself, and then I'm going to add hot glue right to that folded over section and the bottom. Now that just gives it a nice finished look in case you want a smaller hat that doesn't go as far down to cover up the top of your beard. Okay, so here's where we are now, and now we're going to choose noses. That is a dowel cap. This is a 1.5-inch bead, so I'm going to use a 1.5-inch bead and a 3/4-inch bead. You can use whatever you'd like. Now I get asked a lot how to cover the hole. Go ahead and place the hole down into the fur, not directly perpendicular, but just sort of at an angle, so you'll see that top hole we can cover up with the hat. You're just going to repeat that for your little one as well. Hello, little one. Now for hats, you do not need a pattern for these. We're just going to fold them over. This is like the easiest gnome hat ever. Again, no pattern. You just have to know how thick you are going to make your hat. So you cut basically a square. You can see it here. It's a square. Turn it, roll the longer edge here. Here you go. And now you have a hat. You're just going to cut off that bottom at an angle, so you can see it's now rounded. And that'll give you a nice little hat. Now, if you'd like a study in frustration and you're not a hand embroiderer, this may cause tears, but I basically just used embroidery thread and made little crosses, making sure I started in the center so it would be centered with my nose. I left the edges open. And then I'm going to do that in a second, but when I made this, what you're going to do, because this is the premium felt, it's a little thicker, go ahead and tack down the bottom, then do the rest of the way up, okay? It just makes it go a lot easier. When you start at the top, one of these, a lot of times it pops out. So just start at the bottom and add hot glue all the way up. Grab yourself a popsicle stick or a finger guard or something, add a little hot glue to the very, very tip, and gently press that down. And here you are with our thing, and see that back edge I left open? I just added one more stitch right there so it would be completely finished. And look at this. Perfect. Okay, I'll stop singing. So you're just going to put a little glue right on the tippy top of his nose, squish it down so that part's positioned and it stays. And then you're just going to hot glue, I just tacked a little bit of glue on the back and on each of the sides. And guess what? Your little cutie is done. Now, if you want to know what made me cry, this guy. So I had the great idea to pin the back and then put it on. And I wanted to make a little heart. Okay, so I just used a little piece of chalk, made a little heart, and decided I would put those little X's all along that heart. And I am not kidding you, I sat on my floor and cried because I forgot that I could open the pin and I just did it through the cone. So anyway, don't do that. Open the pin, then secure your hat, then put it on, and the same way, look, you're all done with these guys. What do you think of them? Let me know in the comments below. Is this a look you like? Easy peasy if you have some scrap wood. Hey, thanks for being here, and please like this video and subscribe to Ruffles and Rain Boots.